in this portion of the IBDP portion, we will be doing the portion of the reactivity 1.3, reactivity 1.3.1, reactivity 1.3.2. So combustion. What is combustion and how it is helpful? So we have to know that when we are depending upon combustion from the fossil fuels. In this thing, we have to learn that when we see these fossil fuels are very important for us to sustain, right, our lifestyle. See, any organic compound you take, you can write down this equation. Plus O2 gives you what? Carbon dioxide plus water plus heat. Now, if you take incomplete combustion, we take oxygen. Incomplete combustion. Incomplete means less amount of oxygen. It gives you what? It gives you carbon monoxide plus carbon plus water plus less amount of heat. So this is very important, that if you see complete combustion, when you see complete combustion gives out more amount of heat. The enthalpy of combustion is more. Now, if you go to incomplete combustion, when we do incomplete combustion, what happens in it? In the incomplete combustion, you'll be seeing that we'll be getting much lesser amount of heat. So that's a very important thing, that when we say incomplete combustion gives you what? Incomplete combustion will be giving you carbon monoxide or carbon. Now we have to know that what are the harmful effects of the incomplete combustion. This thing we have to know. Now we know that in our blood, there's a particle called as hemoglobin, right? This is a hemoglobin.
Yeah.
And hemoglobin does what? We know that we have got a lungs, right? We breathe. The air comes from the trachea. There's a lungs over here. And surrounding the lungs, we are having what? The blood vessels. The blood vessels will be bringing the deoxygenated blood. And what happens? The carbon dioxide will be getting released in the lungs, and carbon dioxide is exhaled. Carbon dioxide is bought by the hemoglobin. And what happens? The oxygen will be sitting over here now from the lungs, isn't it? So hemoglobin is the main carrier, main Uber cab, or the main Uber cab, which will be transporting the oxygen to different part of our body. Why do we need oxygen to different part of our body? We need oxygen to different part of our body because of the fact that oxygen is needed for respiration, isn't it? I'm speaking now, my tongue has to be used, my cheeks has to be used. How do I get the energy? Inside the cell, we have got glucose.
Yeah.
From our food we break down starch, we have rice, wheat, it breaks down into sugar. This sugar is now getting introduced in the cells. When we breathe, what happens? This oxygen will be getting absorbed by the hemoglobin and transported to different parts of our body: hands, legs, cheeks, tongues. Now my tongue and my cheek is needing more respiration. This reaction is happening in my tongue more, right? Plus carbon dioxide plus water plus heat or energy. Now this energy is now used up for me to speak now. But whenever we are seeing that we are doing incomplete combustion, when you do incomplete combustion, a devastating thing happens, a very lethal thing happens. Carbon monoxide is a very deadly compound. Carbon monoxide does what? When you're burning any fossil fuels in incomplete combustion around you, the carbon dioxide smoke is there. The carbon dioxide smoke we inhale, right? Isn't it? Carbon dioxide smoke we actually inhale, and it comes to the lungs. Now carbon monoxide does what? Carbon monoxide we inhale due to incomplete combustion. What happens? This carbon monoxide is a very lethal, a very ruthless kind of compound. What it does? It does not allow oxygen to sit now. Is it clear? To be transported to different parts of the body. So carbon monoxide forcibly sits on the hemoglobin in the lungs, right? And this carbon monoxide thus restricts. See, this carbon monoxide will be now restricting oxygen supply to different part of our body. You'll be shocked to see this, that the carbon monoxide will be irreversibly binding and it will be kicking out oxygen and not let oxygen to sit in this, which is vitally needed. When our body is deprived of oxygen, what happens then next? We die. That's a very important thing. We die. And that's the reason that death occurs. So carbon monoxide is very lethal. And incomplete combustion gives you what? Incomplete combustion also gives you carbon. This carbon is what? Carbon is very lethal. Because why? Because this will be creating the lungs diseases, right? The breathing issues, right? Carbon, soot particles, right? Soot particles which are there. So incomplete combustion gives you what? Incomplete combustion gives you carbon monoxide plus carbon. So that's a very important portion of this IBDP portion, where the incomplete combustion. Because why? Because when we take limited supply of oxygen, what happens? Then we see that it will be giving you a incomplete combustion. And what's the reaction? Incomplete combustion gives you carbon monoxide. Extreme incomplete combustion gives you carbon plus water. So this is very important, that we also know how to write down the balanced equation. So balanced equation we have to know also that there are two equations. One is what? The incomplete combustion of carbon monoxide plus water. Second, extremely incomplete combustion gives you carbon plus water. So this is a portion of your IBDP portion of your combustion of the fossil fuels.